This dog is going to be the absolute demise of my being. Is that it? Hmm. Oh, lords. Did it already break? Did that already break out? Oh my goodness. Huh. Well, isn't this being very odd? Oh? Okay, so it actually is working now. Oh, shoot. Okay, but is that going to actually show up here? Or is it going to continue to act like it does not exist? Here it goes, it's glitching out. We had it working less than 5 seconds ago. And now it wants to act like it doesn't want to work. How lovely. Very odd, but I guess if that's how. Hmm. I'm just gonna have some of it a little bit out of place. If you could not do that, if you could not do that, I would appreciate that. I move it. I still don't know. I do have like 5 timings off. But I think it looks okay now. Move it. Oh. How fun. Really? You're gonna be... I'm sorry. I have to look at the iPad out of the corner of my eye. Whatever, whatever. Whatever, whatever. Whatever, whatever. Just gotta drop this in 2 separate places. Whatever, whatever. Just gotta drop this in 2 separate places. I don't know if anybody wants to even show up. Drop this in 2 separate places. I don't know if anybody wants to even show up. Drop this in 2 separate places. Well, I don't think there's a point in waiting around too much. I don't know if anybody wants to. Way too high pitched. I honestly don't know how well this is tracking me. Way too high pitched. I honestly don't know how well this is tracking me. Way too high pitched. I honestly don't know how well this is tracking me. Alright, well, I'll give it like, what, a minute? And I don't know if this is even tracking well, or if it's just terrible quality. Alright, well, I'll give it like, what, a minute? And I don't know if this is even tracking well, or if it's just terrible quality. Alright, well, I'll give it like, what, a minute? And I don't know if this is even tracking well, or if it's just terrible quality. I'm just gonna throw some of these invites privately around, and we'll just see how it goes from there. I'm just gonna throw some of these invites privately around, and we'll just see how it goes from there. I'm just gonna throw some of these invites privately around, and then we'll just see how it goes from there. Well, I suppose if nobody wants to show up or anything, I suppose we might as well just figure out how to get started. Now, you guys, I don't believe, can see I actually have File Explorer open at the moment. Nobody wants to show up or anything, I suppose we might as well just figure out how to get started. Now, you guys, I don't believe, can see I actually have File Explorer open at the moment. Nobody wants to show up or anything, I suppose we might as well. So I'm glancing off to my iPad at the right that has the stream open because I don't believe can see I have no clue what to do when and where at the moment. So I'm glancing off to my iPad at the right that has the stream open because I have no clue. I'm not fully sure on what project I would want to start on. I have actually a bunch here that you guys probably can't even see. Kind of a bummer. I have no clue. I'm not fully sure on, but I am a fan of Phoebe Kase, so I have So it automatically defaults a load with VY1, who I guess somehow I chose her as my default voice, but whatever. But we obviously are using Otome today, so we aren't even going to, because Otome is, as some of you know, is created from Luca's voice bank, or at least the version of Otome I use is from Luca. I know there is another version of her some people use where she is made from flowers. Also, somebody's outside my house. I don't know what they're doing. But also for those who haven't seen her settings before, and I keep meaning to change them a little bit, you can kind of just see what they look like here and now. Oh, somebody else joined. I love it. No one's commenting. But as you can see, hers is... Actually, I don't believe they're too far off from Keko, if I recall. Which... I don't know, they might be. Oh, no, it's not that different from Keko. It's got its similarities. They both kind of have that chipmunk kind of sound to them, in my opinion. I don't know how else I would word them. But this is the file for Hibikase, and I think it's something mostly everybody knows by now. It is kind of an older song, but that's probably why I listen to it nonstop, because apparently I'm just old. And typically when I'm working on these, I just chop it up to mangled non-recognition. And that's just because it's easier for things to load when they're in smaller chunks. I'm still gonna make these blue just because. I believe this already has its own tuning built into it. Don't know where those came from exactly. Oh my goodness, I apologize for the yawning. It has been a day, even though it's been a very short day. So we obviously know these are a little loud. We're gonna bump them back, and we're actually gonna do the left and right, kind of evens it out a bit. It's just a little laser that way. I'm actually just gonna deadass and go delete. We lost my mic at some point, and I wonder when that happened. Oh well. Drag that out. Let's gonna chop it up a bit. I have always had the habit with this song specifically of wanting to do a lot of auto tunes with it and never will understand why I would do that to myself. Why anybody would want to suggest themselves to that. Oh, pardon me. I'm actually going to shift things around a bit. Get rid of that. There's just simplicity right now. I would like to do better. Oh my god, I keep bonking my mic. I apologize. I would like to do more fun, interesting videos in the future. I don't know how well that would go over with any of you. I know like nobody really watches these, and the 2 videos I have out on my Let's Play channel are just nothing. I know there's supposed to be a gap here, but when it's like a small enough gap, Vocaloid itself will just automatically, it just does it on its own. It fixes it on its own. When it's like a small enough gap, Vocaloid itself, I guess it doesn't get that people maybe want short gap breaks at this point in life. I think if I do want that break right there, I'm gonna have to do it manually, which kind of stinker move, but fine. This is kind of just where you go into the dynamics and kind of actually shuts everything up after that little dip. You don't hear a word. So good to kind of look right about there, maybe. Nope. 64 is about the baseline. I don't know why they couldn't have chosen just a perfectly normal. I don't know. 64 seems a little odd to me, but I will accept its existence nonetheless. It just comes off too sharp, though. A perfectly normal. I don't know. 64 seems a little odd to me, but I will accept its existence nonetheless. Okay, there we go. There we go. We can just ditch the pen altogether. Always touchy. It's always so touchy. I kind of want to do the same thing where you do. Always so touchy. Difficult. As you want to have it not stupid. I'm so glad that this is a VTuber model and you guys cannot see how stupid I look, like leaning in very closely trying to draw this out. I just feel like it's still not. Okay, we're gonna like zoom in the most we can possibly zoom in here. I feel like I need to do a live stream with. I just import like a UST that has absolutely nothing to it and just have it like labeled the most basic bitch tune. I apologize for this word, but the most basic tuning to ever grace the YouTube. I just import like a UST that has absolutely nothing to
I think
it.
if I make
And
this like
just have it,
start
like, labeled the most
somewhat
basic
within the note, we might be getting better results.
the most basic tuning to have grace.
There's that bad boy. We are actually going to copy that because we're probably gonna need it later. Look right here. Somewhat within the note, we might be getting better results. There's that bad boy. We are actually going to copy that. We're probably gonna need it later. Right here. Like looking out of my window, expecting to see somebody peering in because we have maintenance working outside today. I know these like notes by themselves are long, but for some reason there's like this part of me that wants to chop them. And obviously we will find out if that's a good or bad thing. It sounds really weird, but for some reason I really, really like that, and I don't know why. We're just gonna hold on to that for the time being, I think. But we will abandon doing our little dynamics thing for a moment and go back to just doing some basic pitch stuff.
Really weird,
I admit a good chunk of the time I'm actually screwing around with synth V when I do a lot of this. I have a lot of synth V tuning going into things, but I do want to. Gosh, like 5 seconds ahead. I don't know how far you can like drag a note up. Stop breathing. Just stop. We do not. This is a no breathing zone. I have decided. Okay, where the heck is she getting this breathing from right now? Because it sure ain't from me. This is a no breathing zone. I have decided. I don't know. It might have been something I did actually, and I probably. I probably could have done a lot better. Oh, I'm a little bummed. I don't know what. I thought people would show up, but maybe. I do have intentions of doing another Let's Play later if I can sort out a new model I have. I don't know who's heard of Hungry Lamu, but it's been on my list. I do have intentions of doing another Let's Play later. I think right now for this though, we're gonna go through just the first verse, bridge, chorus part. I don't know who's heard of Hungry Lamu, but it's been on my list. I think that's acceptable enough. Just to, yeah. I do so love pitch bends, but sometimes I can go overboard. I do have a tendency to go crazy with some things. Pitch bends, but sometimes I can go overboard. But I always find just having it start with a drop down for the note is it's basic, but it seems to work well from my point of view. Oh my goodness, I apologize for sniffling. I've had the worst allergies of recent. Having it start and drop down for the note just seems to work well for 5 points. I apologize for sniffling. I've had the worst allergies. Interesting how many gaps there are that I...
Key.
I probably should be a little more consistent on these, and if I do decide to do a basics tuning video, I probably just could cover this really basics like this. I'm sorry, I'm still not good talking on camera. One of these days we're gonna figure it out, but hey guys, I don't think it's gonna be today. Oh god! Position. I don't think I want that at the end. One of these days, I don't think it's gonna be today. Oh god. Oh, my back. Oh, I'm having like the worst. Some of the worst back pain today. My little dog is a bed hog, and sometimes she really jacks up your back. Oh, I'm having like the worst. Some of the worst back pain. My little dog is a bed hog, and sometimes she really jacks up your back.
She. Mama.
And one of these days, maybe I'll just have a super short working on a Mika Mika dance video, if I can get that to work with OBS, because just setting up the vocal weights, I don't know who saw that in the beginning, that was a nightmare on its own. And one of these days, maybe I'll just have a super short working on a Mika Mika dance video, if I can get that to work with OBS, because just setting up the vocal weights, I don't know who saw that in the beginning, that was a nightmare on its own. But I did want to get Hungry Lamu recorded before I was required to go to my mother's house later. Dinner. Hungry Lamu recorded before I was required to go to No, pardon me. I don't know what that is. I don't know how to do that. I don't know, maybe when we hit 35 minutes, because I know really no one's here, and hell, I might even delete this whole stream itself. Or I'll just keep it up and let it be a piece of shame on my channel. I don't know, maybe when we hit 35 minutes, 'cause I know really no one's here, and hell, I might even delete this whole stream itself. Or I'll just keep it up and let it be a piece of shame on my channel. This is probably the most basic stuff you could do for any kind of tuning, but you know, sometimes it is the basic bitches of society we rely on. You know, sometimes it is the basic bitches of society we rely on. I'm not gonna mess. That one's extremely short, so I don't think I'm gonna mess with it. I think when it gets, some of these are kind of short, they don't really become worth goofing off with too much. I think when it gets, some of these are kind of short, they don't. It's all weird within my brain, trust me. My brain does not understand half of the things I do. All weird within my brain, trust me. My brain does not understand. Also, I actually probably don't know. I mean, I've mentioned it here. I do have a secondary channel that is just for Let's Plays. I don't think that's something anybody here is aware about. Part of me does want to post the Hungry Lamu Let's Play on this channel. Just to see if it's more well received, but I also know I can always do like a shout out post as well. I mean, I did create the second channel to keep it from interfering with the Vocaloid, the synth V I always do on this channel. Posts as well. I mean, I did create the second channel to keep it from interfering. It's kind of just like a brain of what should we do, Lily? Oh, wait, no. What, Lily? The world is crazy at the moment. Well, but some parts of Otome is kind of hard to understand, but I think for me that's what makes her a little endearing, as I think the thing with Otome and Keko for me is that as a child, I absolutely loved the Alvin and the Chipmunks movies, and you know, that was also during the era of YouTube where everyone was like making pitch change up normal songs to like pitch up a song to sound like the Chipmunks Chipettes, and then they were also pitching songs down for the real voice of the Chipmunks and the Chipettes. So that is probably where some of that comes from for these higher pitched Vocaloids and FANLOIDs. Utah as well. If I was to like, because some of you already know, I have official stuff out in the world, like actually on Spotify and stuff, but I mean, they couldn't possibly fully copyright the concept of a high-pitched voice. I mean, if I don't claim it's Chipmunks or Chipettes. Like, listen, guys, listen. I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't know what kind of hot water I might be splashing myself with there. If I don't claim it. Listen, guys, listen. I'm just saying. I don't know what kind of hot water I might be splashing myself. But we need the gap there. We need a gap right here. Pull it over a bit. Pull it over. Pull that there. And I probably will finish this. I did not. I mentioned it once or twice. There is a FANLOID server Discord. It's been mentioned on Reddit. I think somebody mentioned that they wanted me to do a cover of Young Girl with Otome, which sounds good. I just have to get around to it. And
I understand it's a pretty big song also to the community. I get it. I've heard it.
Reddit, I think somebody mentioned that they wanted me
I
to
don't know how
take
to
over
describe
Gumbo,
how sometimes
which sounds
I
good.
don't know.
I just have to
I do feel maybe sometimes a disconnect where I have a habit of listening to the same freaking songs nonstop and hardly ever listening to a new song. Perhaps that's just a Tism thing, but I have kind of always been that way when it comes to music and songs, and I've just never been open-minded with it, and that's a big issue I tend to have. Oh my gosh, why's my back so bad? I also, as we said at the beginning of this, Otome is made with Luca's voice bank, which does mean also Otome herself has an English voice bank, which is something I want to do. I think I don't know if I have mentioned, I don't know how many plans I mentioned, how many I don't. I have a very bad memory, but I guess we'll get there. Oh my gosh, pardon my hiccups. But,
I don't know how many plans I mentioned, how many I don't. I have a very bad
we
memory.
are slowly working through this goofy piece. I also really want to get my other VTuber model I bought recently to work for Hungry Lamu, which is another thing I'm going to step off and work on. This sounds fine though, so far. Step off and work on. Kinda nearing the end of this first bit. But I can say, just because they've started on this now, probably will have Otome, Hibikase in the future. It probably won't be completed anytime soon, though. I will just state that right here and right now. Just because I know myself well enough to know I'm not gonna get it done very soon. Because I have other stuff. I've mentioned already we have a Devella remix of Ghost Rule with Keko very, very soon. You've actually probably seen a preview for that if you are on TikTok. By some crazy chance, I barely understand that Atlas. But I don't know. People seem to like it. I've found some pretty funny things on there, I will admit, but like, I'm a little touch, I think. I'm just old. Every kid at where I work, I'm 24 years old, but they call me old. What a bummer. Every kid at where I work, I'm 24 years old, but they call me old. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Kind of curious on how these, but I'll run through them, how they are now, and then I think I'll just shut this down.
真夜中にする音の警告今日に酔う午前0時あなたが触れる光ますね指先に踊らされが約束体感ね静まる夜二人だけの水だ時間束体感重なる波形に魅了されていく忘れないでね私の声を画面越しでちゃんと愛して当たるなって突き放さないであなた喉にまだ覚えていたい覚えていてね私の声をあなたがくれたこの見つめ手を見つめ合うあなたと二人重ねた息をどっと響かせ
Okay. Alright. Well, my bottle just totally glitched out there at the end. I do not know what on earth that was all about. But I think I'm kind of just gonna top it here. Like I said, I do want to go play that game and get that uploaded and just see how that goes, but to do that, I have to finish a few little things with my other model I downloaded, so, yeah, and I think if anybody is ever really curious about it in the future, maybe I would do just a really basic, bare bones tuning video. And, well, I appreciate everybody who showed up. I feel so awkward. I feel awkward. Anyhow, thank you for watching and sticking around. Chee-shep out. I can figure out how to stop.